ralei.
Oh, it's you two. I suppose that makes me the last one then.
We better get a move on or else we'll never hear the end of it from Kisara.
Right you are. A month has passed since we vanquished Volron. I would have thought that the Renans on Lenegis would have made their move by now. Yet they still remain as silent as ever. We have no idea what happened to Volron's body, nor its whereabouts. The Red Woman also has yet to reappear, for that matter. And contrary to what I had heard, when the Renis Alma formed, not 5, but 6 elements were present, with darkness constituting the 6th and final Master Core. Were either of you aware of this?
You mean about the Renis Alma? Of course not.
Same. I had no idea a Darkness Master Core even existed.
What about Shion's maiden powers?
No. That was the first I learned about that, too. Or anything about having that power.
Me too. I remember thinking the same thing.
What could it all mean, I wonder? There are so many questions with too few answers, particularly when it comes to that Red Woman and her abilities.
Or at any other ability that used astral energy, I'd say it was an astral art. But hers was different.
Speaking of astral energy, we also mustn't forget that while the other Master Cores disappeared when forming the Renis Alma, for some reason the Fire Master Core remained. It may well have been the work of your maidenly powers. Alphen, are you still able to wield the blazing sword as before?
For now, at least. That Renis Alma sucked most of the energy out of the Fire Master Core, but it still has enough for me to use the sword.
And the sword is safe inside of me for the time being.
Good. At least that's one thing we needn't concern ourselves over.
You can say that again. We have more than enough to deal with as it is. Let's go.
Hey, wait up!
O Raleigh entrou no grupo.
I heard we are all to meet at the castle entrance.
Já tá em Pelegião, né, brother? Acho que eu vou encerrar esse vídeo por aqui. Ah, não. Encerrar agora não. Vou encerrar por aqui. Gente, começando mais um novo vídeo de Tales of Arise apresentado por mim, Eliscun. Seja muito bem-vindo. Desejo que você deixe o like e aperte o botão de inscrição para mais detonado. Bom, eu vou continuar o jogo, né?
This is Ganya, who has a problem
Ele é
he needs
Gunai
help with.
e ele precisa de ajuda. O nome dele é Gunai e ele precisa de ajuda com um problema.
I was just about to ask him
Ele
what
estava
that
para
problem
perguntar
is.
qual era o problema.
Alright then.
É legal, o que você
Tell us what's
precisa
on
de
your
mais?
mind.
I'm hungry.
Eu tô com fome.
You're hungry.
É
Where are your
fome, cadê
rations?
suas
Did
rações?
you not
Não
get
pegou?
yours?
I did.
Peguei.
Are they not enough?
Elas não bastam?
No, I have
Não,
enough.
já tenho o suficiente.
Then what's the
Então
problem?
qual é o problema?
Alphen, you have to remember, these people aren't used to responding so quickly. Be slow and gentle with him.
Oh, right. I forgot. Sorry about that. So you have your rations, and it's enough food, but there's still something wrong with them. What is it exactly?
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I got that part.
Do your rations taste bad?
I don't know.
What's that supposed to mean?
I haven't eaten them, so I don't know how they taste.
Wait, if you're not eating them, then what are you doing with them?
Bringing them into the castle.
What? Why? Wait, back up. Are others doing this? Who told you to bring your rations in?
Everyone in my group is doing it. I don't know who told us to do it. They only said to bring the rations into the castle.
I'm guessing none of us told them to do it, or else we'd know, right?
I was afraid that something like this might happen. The people in this capital are slowly regaining their own wills, but not everybody is getting them back at the same rate.
Are you saying someone who got their will back sooner might be taking rations from other people? If so, that's a serious problem.
Definitely. This is something we can't ignore. We need to investigate the castle.
It seems like the people here...
Get made a sketch again.
Hey, remind me, just what exactly are we all doing here?
What do you mean? We're helping people, aren't we?
Could have fooled me. Lately it feels like everything we're doing ends up half-baked. We liberated the people of Pelegion, but their hearts and minds are no less under the yoke than the day we found them. As for Volron's cronies, we have no idea where they scampered off to.
You think I don't already know all that? We're doing everything we can, aren't we? We didn't choose to get stuck here. Sometimes you have to play the hand you're dealt. Besides, you've seen all the same things I have. You know as well as I do that deposing the lords alone won't solve all the world's problems.
Rinwell's right. We've gotten this far, haven't we? We can't just leave things unfinished now.
I guess? I mean, I didn't think we'd be singing around the campfire as soon as the wall came down, but still.
The fight isn't over just yet. At least not while Lenegis remains a threat.
I'm just sick of all this waiting. If they're gonna invade, why don't they get a move on already?
Stop that! Don't you think we've got enough problems as it is without you tempting fate?
Mais uma sketch.
Spot something?
Oh, no. Just wondering if I could see any armored guards.
Armored guards? You mean Volron's soldiers?
The moment we defeated their lord, all those guys bolted out of there. And not just out of the castle either. The city, too. For better or worse, it was the guards who looked after the city's Danans. Without them, making Pelegion half-habitable again has been one big headache.
It's not like they were on their last legs. They could have chosen to stay and fight, but instead they ran away and disappeared without a trace.
But without a lord to follow, they can't have any place to go. Unless... You don't think they went to Lenegis, do you?
It's not completely out of the question. Though I'd say it's more likely they're biding their time somewhere, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike back at us.
The people here in Pelegion are nowhere near ready to defend themselves. Great. Another headache to worry about.
Mais sketch.
Is it just me, or was today's dinner a little low on salt?
I felt that it was seasoned perfectly, so as to bring out the flavor of the ingredients.
Last taste buds are still like a kid's, so if his food isn't rich enough, I bet he doesn't feel like he's eaten anything at all.
Don't make fun of me. We all need salt in order to survive.
He has a point. You do lose stamina if you don't get enough salt in your body.
Yeah, I remember seeing people trying to lick the rocks back in Calaglia.
What? Why would anybody do that?
Sometimes you can find rocks out there that taste salty. They used to say it was because of all the tears we slaves shed.
Most likely, that was actually rock salt that they found. When our provisions ran low, Miguel would often bring some back for us to use. At the time, we used it because it's all we had. But now there's something hearty about rock salt I like. Even more than table salt.
Is it possible, perhaps, to find any rock salt in these parts?
It is. You have to know what you're looking for, but when I find any, I always break some up to refill our supply. The flavor even changes depending on what kind of terrain it comes from. Sometimes I end up collecting more than we need, just in case we like it.
Wow, Kisara's really serious about her salt.
You can always count on Kisara to be earnest. That's why we have to do our part and not add any more to her burden.
Equipo nível 1.
I think a little senses something.
A 32ª.
Ooh.
32ª coruja.
Maybe something's going on in the forest.
Lá pra floresta, lá. Vamos lá. Vou primeiro andar.
I sense a poor soul who is in dire need.
Sounds like our cue to step in and help.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Vai cá, a torre principal. Peraí, deixa eu ver uma coisa aqui. Vamos lá. Vamos pra castelo. Por aqui. Vamos lá por aqui. Eu tenho que achar o... essa área aqui.
Guess I misread the landing.
Very well.
Well,
Hey. Pardon me?
Hell? Do these guys not realize who we are?
Doesn't seem that way. I almost think we're just Danins from the town.
whatever's going on, these are Volrun soldiers. Watch yourselves.
Shield force!
Under it.
More for the stockpile!
Take this!
I never miss!
It's over!
Wonderful! I can do this all without corruption!
Coming through!
Arte mística.
Scarlet Inferno!
Arc field!
Here I
Lunar
come!
corruption!
You're finished!
Far enough! Gemini Aqua! Annihilate! Leave the enemy's arc to me!
No complaints here!
Ignite!
Inferno crossing! This one begins in the way! Look sharp!
You're mine!
Do it!
Why'd you heal?
Astral energy!
Say no more!
É nóis, brother.
Yeah.
Hey.
You don't say.
Well...
Well?
How?
Oh, wow!
So then,
I can't believe how quickly you got all those soldiers to obey you, Dohalim.
actually, they were abiding Renin hierarchy. Not me personally.
Falar
Well, either way,
demais.
it solved the problem, and that's what counts.
Whew! I don't sense any more enemies.
Vamos lá. Vamos lá.
I've talked to the soldiers and made it clear that they are to remain in line. Things should stay calm for the time being.
I know Renans tend to take authority extremely seriously, but you sure know how to throw your weight around as a former lord.
I only managed to get through to them because Volron's curse is lifting, but not to the extent that they can act independently as of yet. Considering we had other matters to attend to for the past month, we should consider ourselves lucky that nothing occurred during our absence.
But if they do start operating independently again, That's going to cause a whole new set of problems to deal with.
Indeed. Ganeth Heros is unlike Menancia. Without intervention, they'll likely revert to oppressing the Danans as they were doing before.
Meaning there's still a lot of work to be done in this realm. Not that there aren't problems among the Danans, too.
Yes. There was no way to avoid the deep-seated conflicts that had festered here. But I just hate that we had to use your position as a lord to solve the situation, Dohalim.
Had I not intervened, yet more blood would have spilled here, and nobody wishes for that.
So, what's going to happen to the Renans here now?
Why do you ask?
We've stripped the soldiers of their armor and locked them up. They can't hurt you guys anymore. I promise.
So they're alive? They're not going to die?
What?
Those people deceived us. They did terrible, terrible things to us. They made us suffer. Long before you guys came along. For years and years and years. It was constant. Never stopped. Not even for a day. So many people died. Our parents, our children, our friends. They all died. They were murdered. And it was the Renans. The Renans were the ones who did it. They killed us. Why do they get to live after so many of us have died? The bastards should die! Every last one of them!
I know how you feel, Ganya. I used to be a slave, and I hated the Renans just like you. I took up the blazing sword to bring them down. But along the way, I've met many people and seen many things. People refusing the hand life dealt them. People who have lost loved ones, but are still trying to make this world a better place. People driven by hate who stopped before it was too late. And those who couldn't and paid with their lives. And I fought plenty of people who were all too happy to make others suffer. Believe me. But after a while, I came to realize that it's not the Renans who are our true enemies.
Then what the hell are we fighting if it's not them?
We're fighting against anyone who tries to take what doesn't belong to them.
But that's what these Renans are doing. How is that any different?
Because I judge everyone by their own actions. That goes for Danans, too. Because at the end of the day, at the root of all evils committed is an individual who committed them.
You're right, Alphen. It seems like people are either blaming an entire race for one individual's sins, or an individual for everyone else's mistakes. But all that does is add more hate in a world that's already full of it. I want to help create a society where people can finally stop suffering and move beyond their pain. But if we try to do that with more violence, then we'll just end up right back where we started in the first place.
All right. Have it your way. I can't argue with the folks that helped us get back our ability to think and speak freely again.
Is that to say you trust us then?
I don't trust the Renans as far as I can throw them. I trust you guys because of who you are and what you've done.
Fair enough. We won't let you down, Ganya.
Sketch.
What's the matter, Kisara? Is something wrong?
Oh, no, nothing. It's fine, really. I'm just a bit worried about what'll happen to all these folks.
Right. It'll take time before they start thinking for themselves again.
Indeed, that is part of it. However, what I'm even more worried about is what will happen to them after that. What do you think they're going to want once they realize how cruel Volron was to them?
Probably revenge.
What happened to Ganeth Heros is the worst form of oppression we've seen, but treated cruelly or kindly, slaves will rise up.
Lenegus aside, there are still remnants of Renan supremacists scattered throughout Dana.
You mean all that trouble we went through to get rid of the lords might just lead to more violence? That's the last thing I want to see happen.
Of course not. And if we don't do something to prevent it all from starting up again, there could be even more bloodshed for us to regret. There's still a lot we don't know about the Renan rulers. Whatever the face of truth behind their veil, it's on us to put a stop to them. But there is one thing that's clear. Whatever we do to finally end it, our motives can't be getting back at the Renans, or it'll all be for nothing.
So, what exactly is it that you're saying? That we should just act as if nothing happened?
Law's right. We can't expect everyone to just forget all the pain they've endured up until now. Not so easily, at least.
But we have to at least try to change course. We can't just keep allowing history to repeat itself like this.
Exactly. Look, I won't deny that between the crown contest and 300 years of oppression, there's a lot of bad blood between the Danans and the Renans. But all these problems are just too big for us to try to carry the burden on our own. We'll keep doing our part in the interim, but we need to take this one battle at a time.
Título.
Glad that work's taken care of.
I don't think we're done just yet. I want you all to stick around a little longer.
Aqui Pelegião.
Might still be people who need our help.
When I think of it. Where are you going?
Since when do I need
sketch.
your permission to move around?
I wasn't saying that you do. Though I'm not sure why you're biting my head off about it either.
Oh, that's so typical of you. How can you be so relaxed about all this? At this very moment, the enemy is doing who knows what behind the scenes. And yet we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs in Ganeth Harros.
I know that. But our hands are tied right now. What do you want me to do? And what's gotten into you anyway? Is there something you want to say to me, Shion?
Look, you're right. Forget I said anything.
If I said something to hurt you, I'm sorry. But I honestly don't know what I said to upset you so much. I really wish you would tell me.
You don't need to apologize. You didn't say anything. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Not really.
Then why?
Please just drop it. I don't want to talk about it.
All right. If that's what you want, I won't push any further.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. Just don't be too hard on yourself, okay?
Vamos lá por aqui. Pra cá. Ei, o que aconteceu com ele? Ele não tá mais entre nós, parece sempre mal de saúde, mas mesmo assim, ele tava tão perto de viver como um mundo normal. Droga. Ele tem algum parente vivo? Sua mãe acho que ela vive naquela área ali. Quando ele vou contar o que aconteceu.
Having to inform a mother her son died isn't an easy thing to do.
But if not us, then who? That's why we have to find her.
Sorry.
Ah, Anne, com licença, senhora. Eu tenho mais notícias, é seu filho, ele.
Yes!
Tudo bem, eu sei. Ah, sabe? Então o que você tá fazendo? Eu tenho um trabalho para entregar hoje, já que o meu filho não pode mais trabalhar. É assim que também não tá mais. Esqueça o trabalho, melhor ainda. Pense em cuidar do seu filho como o seu trabalho de hoje. Tudo bem, então mãos à obra.
How can she think of putting her son to rest as work?
Because that's the way... People were made to think about every aspect of their lives.
Normally we'd be asleep right now.
This isn't an inn, Alphen. Snap to it.
Right. Rinwell, mind if we chat a little? What's wrong? You're looking pretty down. Something on your mind?
Yeah, you could say that. It's just, well, there's something that's been eating away at me for a long, long time. Do you mind if I share it with you?
Of course not. I'm glad to listen.
See, my mom and dad used to tell me I shouldn't go around casting magic. But there was one time I did, behind their backs. And when I did, Almadria showed up.
Huh?
I hated Almadria for destroying everything I loved. But what I hated most was myself. For breaking my promise to my parents. Even though I swore I'd get revenge, there was always this nagging part of me that wondered if I even had any right to do so.
Rinwell, it was Almadria who killed your family. Don't torment yourself over one mistake.
How can you say that when my mother and father died because of me?
This may not comfort you much, but I'll say it anyway. I have a feeling your parents always knew something like that might happen.
What do you mean?
There was always a chance that someday, someone was going to find you and your family. But even knowing the risks, they still taught you magic. And there are two reasons I can think of for that. First, your talent. Second, they were hedging their bets.
Huh? On what?
On you, Rinwell. On how you turn out when you grew up. Sure, learning magic may invite danger, but it would have been even more dangerous to live in hiding without being able to defend yourself. They knew what they were getting themselves into when they taught you magic. And I think they did it because of how much they loved you.
Because my mother and father loved me.
Sorry, I know I shouldn't be putting words into your parents' mouths.
No, it's okay. I used to think I would have been better off if I never knew how to use magic. And if I'm really honest with myself, sometimes I still think that. But after traveling around with all of you guys, I've learned that there are things I can do with magic. That there's a point to it after all. So I'm going to keep trying. I'm gonna try and accept it as part of who I am. I want to use it to protect my friends. To protect the future of Dana. Do you think that's selfish of me?
Not at all. I wouldn't want it any other way with you, Rinwell.
Minha relação com o Rinwell melhorou.
Night, everyone!
Vamos ver se tem alguma... dá pra falar de novo com alguém aí.
Want something to munch on, Hoodle?
Dá não. Tem que esperar um tempo, brother.
Make sure to get some good
Tem que
rest.
esperar um tempo. Vou aparecer de novo. E para conseguir todos os
Looks like she went
troféus
out
tem
of
que
town to
relacionar
take care of
todo
her son's
mundo.
body.
That's a little concerning. There are Zoogles roaming around out there. We should follow after her.
Vai ter mais um sketch.
Yes.
Já vou começar, não traz fogo.
What?
Espere, você pretende queimar seu filho? Pretende, assim que se faz. Não entendo, uma procissão fúnebre mais formal não seria mais adequada? Eu fiz a coisa errada, já peço desculpas. Vocês não têm algum ritual de costume para os parentes falecidos se despedirem? Não tem não. Porque teria em Dana. Até pouco tempo atrás a gente estava ocupado demais com o trabalho, trabalhando para pensar em ritos funerários. Entre os renanos, é costume os parentes mandarem os restos mortais dos falecidos aos céus. Por que não começar uma prática dessas em Dana? Acredito que assim que o espírito do morto se funde a energia astral e viaja pelo cosmos, a gente nunca teria como fazer nada assim. É a última chance para os enlutados verem seus entes queridos. Algo deve ser feito para honrar sua memória. Mas a morte faz parte da vida diária para os danianos. Você acha mesmo que a gente pode mandar os corpos para o espaço todo dia? Eu só achei que seria bom fazer alguma coisa. Quando os renanos ainda estavam no controle, a gente nem sabia se era seguro construir túneis. Os corpos decompõem e podem espalhar doenças. A gente não tinha uma opção de como enterrar o nosso corpo. Não pense nem por um segundo que eu sempre perdoei todos os renanos que fizeram com a gente. Diz uma coisa, Alfa. Você sabe por que nenhum de nós tem sobrenome que nem eles? Deixa eu te contar por quê. É porque tem muito mais daniano que renano. Então eles negam a nossa cultura para a gente não se unir contra eles. Chega. Vocês já roubaram tanta coisa e agora ainda querem fazer a gente viver que nem vocês? Se você odeia tanto como as coisas que são aqui, então por que não faz tudo virar um vácuo astral? Eu? Já chega. Parou. Pelegion pode atacar a qualquer momento e a gente aqui brigamos com os outros. A gente sabe muito bem de todo o sofrimento e o ódio de cada um de nós, mas para coexistir a gente tem que aceitar as nossas diferenças. E é isso que a gente quer, pôr um ponto final nesse sistema e começar a viver em harmonia. E é isso que eu acredito. É por isso que eu estou aqui. Se alguém discorda, então pode ir embora. Eu vou quebrar até a última barreira, mesmo que tenha que ser sozinho. É verdade. Peço mil perdões, considero você um bom amigo, mas eu acho que ainda preciso me acertar com a história sombria do nosso povo.
I'm afraid not.
Real, aceito toda a culpa por tudo isso, mas posso expressar com palavras como me sinto por ofendê-la tão gravemente.
I'm sorry.
Eu me desculpo por ser tão agressivo do Halim. Acho que eu ainda preciso aprender a lidar com as minhas emoções. Eu sei que você também só estava pensando no que era melhor para o filho dela.
Rinwell.
Rinwell, eu gostaria que você ensinasse a cultura e a história deste planeta. Talvez isso nos ajude a começar a encurtar esse abismo. Claro, não tem problema. Você pode me ensinar um pouco sobre Rena também, então, por favor? Vocês dois às vezes são mais parecidos do que percebem. Que bom que deu pra gente se entender. A gente já perdeu gente boa além da conta. Desculpe pela distração. Vamos sepultar seu filho ao estilo daniano.
Good.
Sim. Obrigado por incubar-me dessa tarefa. Não tem problema nenhum que a gente poderia fazer por você, que é a mãe dele. Bem, por causa de você, o meu filho está em paz agora. Pode ficar tranquila. A gente quer construir um futuro para esse mundo que iria deixar ele orgulhoso.
That little speech you gave.
Sketch.
Something's eating at you again, huh?
I don't know if I would say that. I mean... Actually, I guess I do have one or two things on my mind. My people, we lived in hiding, so we never really experienced the full extent of Renan oppression. Not directly, anyway. After Almadria killed my mother and father, though, I guess that's when I started hating them so much. The Renans, I mean. But then I think of all those people who were born into slavery. The ones who never even got angry in the first place because it was all they ever knew.
I hear you. Every city we've been to, it's the resistance that gets labeled the troublemakers for having the guts to do the right thing.
When it comes down to it, sometimes I wonder which of us really has the better way.
You can't let your anger eat away at you, Rinwell. But then again, losing your parents that way... Hell, who could really blame you for it if you did? I guess what I'm trying to say is... sorry. Hell, it's hard putting this stuff into words.
No, I get it. You're saying that grief and anger are different than hatred. I never thought of it like that. But hearing you say it, it makes sense. Thanks, La.
You're welcome?
Volta aqui pro acampamento.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Ver se tem algum novo diálogo. Se algum novo diálogo.
We did a lot today, didn't we, Hoodle?
Tem não.
I'll see you again tomorrow.
Só que demora pra reaparecer.
I couldn't eat another bite.
Eating is one of your great...
Vamos aqui para Tistilin. Tistilin.
passions.
What? No, it's not.
There's nothing to be ashamed of. Okay, off we go.
Vou evitar combater aqui. Um NPC aqui para curar.
I'm glad I made it in time.
I wish I could use healing arts.
Vamos agora para aqui no meu papel. Voltando para cá.
I think the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up by now.
Mais cara aqui para curar. Lutou.
Discourteous, aren't you?
It's over! Begin!
Thank you.
Glacial Spear.
Now I've seen everything!
Mind freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sion, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done! Let the marksman handle this! Let the marksman handle this!
We've turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
This ends
Golpear.
now!
Consider yourself finished.
No complaints from me!
Vamos por esse cara aqui. pra cá.
I think the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up.
What should I fix today?
Wasabi.
Vamos cozinhar aqui. Sashimi. Vai ter um sketch, é um sketch.
Looks perfect and tastes just as good. All right, it's done. Apologies for the wait, you guys.
That's a lot of
Sketch.
fish you've cut up again, Kisara.
That's because I caught so many earlier. If you're going to eat them, it's best to do it while they're still fresh.
Was it difficult slicing up that many fish?
No, I'm used to it. It's no big deal for me at this point.
I know I probably shouldn't be saying this after all the trouble you went through, but I've never really understood the appeal of sashimi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Law. I didn't realize. I only make it because it's an easy way to deal with big catches when I fish.
You haven't done anything wrong, Kisara. Law, if you don't like the flavor, you're always welcome to add some of my spices to it.
Hey, yeah, that might work. I'll just put some of this here.
What's wrong, Law? I've never seen someone jump up and sprint off that fast.
He ran as soon as he took a bite of that sashimi.
Was he crying because of the taste?
I don't think the sashimi is the problem here, guys.
Vamos dormir.
I'll see you again tomorrow.
Mais título.
I couldn't eat anymore.
Agora vamos voltar para a pousada em Pelegião. Pelegião.
I think we've helped these people just about as much as we can. They're going to need more long-term aid than we can provide on our own. What?
What's that noise?
Alvin, this is bad! Look at the sky!
Huh?
Que é isso, né, mano?
What's happening to Rena and Lenegis?
It looks like Lenegis is transforming? But into what? What's going on?
How the hell are we supposed to fight the Renans if they're packing that kind of arsenal?
It seems they've broken their silence at last. My concern is that object they've dropped into the water. It's as if they're driving a literal wedge into Dana.
Not just into Dana, but her own resistance, too. And what's with that beam of light coming down from above? Got any idea what that could be?
Astral energy.
Are you serious? All of that is astral energy? But that...
It's a lot for sure. Not even all the astral energy harvested by every lord combined compares to that column.
They're trying to squeeze every last bit of energy out of the planet.
But why? I thought they only needed to harvest astral energy as part of the crown contest.
Who cares? If we don't stop it now, the whole of Dana is going to be hollowed into oblivion.
Oblivion.
Do you think that red woman is behind this?
It certainly wouldn't surprise me. Just as the Sovereign, the Maiden, and all 5 Master Cores are gathered in one location, she appears out of nowhere bearing a 6th core. She then forces the 2 of you to help her assemble the Renis Alma. Just what kind of person is this woman?
You mean you don't know her?
Pardon?
She was there at your palace, wasn't she? I figured you knew who she was.
Are you saying I should be familiar with this woman?
Well, sure. I remember seeing her with you back at Adelina Palace several times. Everyone in the guard always wondered who she was.
Now that you mention it, I remember seeing her with Balsif, too. You saw her, right, Shion? Shion?
Oh, sorry, I drifted off. As far as I remember, the first time I saw her was when we ran into her in Pelegion.
Seriously? How could you two not notice her before? She sticks out like a sore thumb.
I guess I always figured she kept an eye on the lords for the Renin top brass.
You're sure you don't remember ever seeing her before?
I'm certain of it. My memory has never failed me.
But if it's not that, then...
We'll get to the bottom of this later. Right now, that wedge is a bigger concern.
Well, what are we gonna do then? We're not gonna be able to leave Ganeth Haros until we come up with a plan, right?
Cyslodia lies beyond the northern mountain range.
Yeah, but we haven't found a single route through those mountains while we've been here. And we haven't gotten clues from any of the freed locals either.
Surely there must be a way through. This realm can't have been completely isolated from the rest of the outside world for 300 years. Volron may have simply sealed and hidden it.
Okay, then let's try asking the townspeople again if they know anything. Who knows? We might have missed something the first time around.
Sounds good to me. Better that than trying to build a boat from scratch. Let's start searching.
That must...
Mais sketch.
I bet the whole of Dan is losing its mind right about now.
And just when we'd finished liberating all the realms. So much for things getting somewhere close to normal.
It's too calculated. As if whoever's behind all this was watching us.
The people of Pelegion seem pretty unfazed given the circumstances.
They've yet to get the full range of their emotions back. Maybe it's for the best. Can you imagine the panic otherwise?
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to leave, that's for sure.
Whatever Lennigus is planning, it's a fair bet this wedge they've sent down is just the beginning.
Even now, they're stealing away Dana's astral energy as we speak. Come on. We don't have much time.
Hey, when that wedge dropped down on Dana, did anyone else see any weird light shoot out with it?
Indeed. As I recall, it was... 4
Bom,
lights.
basicamente é só não dá pra viajar.
Each one a different color and going in a separate direction.
Vou pular a conversa aqui. Vamos lá.
Where are these Foreland Mountains exactly?
Those are the mountains you and...
Pra cá.
Counter if
Vamos
you
ver se dá
walk
pra
deep
ver
enough into
alguma
the lofty
história de
marshlands.
relacionamento
I don't
com
remember there being any sort of path like that around.
Curry, perhaps. Or burgers.
Não dá,
No,
ninguém.
no, mashed potatoes.
Make sure to get some good rest.
Vamos agora para a área nova.
Days like this are
Vou salvar aqui.
made for fishing.
Days like this are rather loud.
Ó.
Phew, what a rush. Is the blazing sword okay?
A little water's not going to hurt it.
Vamos lá. Vem por aqui.
Armored soldiers!
Some of Volron's former guards.
Let's take them out quick before things get messy.
Oh, glory! Not to Volron!
Lay down your arms, and no one has to get hurt.
Silence! Traitors like you shall never walk free!
I knew you were stubborn, but you don't have to be so damn dramatic.
Got it! Never forward!
Beat this! You're out!
How about this?
The enemy heals us too.
We'll soon see about that!
Here I come!
In here!
Be still!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really do.
Eternal devastation! Coming through!
Arte mística.
Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's a healing arc!
You're mine!
Light Astrolabe dance in the wind!
You're finished! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
They're offering.
Make it right! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Here's a healing arc! Stars and light!
Ignite!
Here, let me help.
You're mine! You're finished!
Deny.
You're mine! It's over!
Hold on to your arc! Here I come!
Hurricane! It's over!
Havoc! Chinese supernova! Raging cascade! Here's evil! Hurricane! Light astral energy! Burning!
Nós, brother. Vitória. Vitória Deus dá.
What's with the hole here? Is that supposed to be their hideout?
It doesn't look like it's freshly dug, whatever it is. Maybe it's the entrance to a path to Cyslodia. Everything all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go. I don't know when it happened, but we sure are hauling a lot of stuff these days.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Glad to hear I'm not the only one.
We should probably clear some stuff out. Like our old weapons we're not using anymore. They must be in pretty bad shape by now.
No way. Those are still good as new with a little polishing. If anything, I'd say all our armor is what's weighing us down.
But that armor's also still good once you fix it up. Besides, better to have too much armor than too little. You can trust me on that one.
Well, what about all these dumb old antiques we're lugging around? If we sell those off, that should lighten our load.
Simpletons such as yourself who can't appreciate the true worth of such things is how precious art vanishes from history.
Pretty art's not gonna save you in a fight, man.
Stop it, you guys! This is no time to...
All I really meant to say is, you can tell how much we've been through by everything we're carrying around. Honestly, that's all.
Oh.
My deepest apologies. It appears that I may have rather overreacted.
Yeah, I guess it's only natural we'd have so many souvenirs by now. I might have been out of line too.
I guess all this stuff really is a sign of how far we've come together.
Yeah, every little piece is its own treasure, filled with memories.
These bad guys really don't mess around.
Bom, mais sketch.
Tell me, Alphen, wherever did you learn how to wield a sword?
I was wondering the same thing too, actually. I'm guessing you knew how to fight before you met the Crimson Crows, right?
I used to be a soldier who served a Danon master. I never saw the guy's face, but I still fought for him because he was my employer. Looking back, it wasn't all that different from being a slave.
A Danon master? That must have been before the Renans brought you to Lenegis 300 years ago.
You must fight using real Danon techniques then.
Really? We used to have our own sword arts?
There's a lot of our own history we've lost since the Renans first invaded. It's not all magic and art. I'm sure it includes things like sword styles too. It's incredible and also a little surreal to see those arts still survive after all this time.
Not only that, but I first learned these moves while serving one ruler, only to end up turning my sword on the ruling class altogether. Pretty ironic when you think about it.
I apologize if I dredged up unfortunate memories for you.
Nah, we're good. It's in the past now. All we ever did in those days was stir up trouble.
You're using those skills for a good cause now. It's not all bad.
I suppose this is what people mean when they say that every cloud has its silver lining.
Exactly. He's using those sword skills to make the world better. Could be a lot worse.
True enough. I will stop worrying about mentioning it then.
Vamos encerrar o vídeo por aqui, brother. Agora eu vou fazer as missões paralelas de Pelegião, que é o próximo vídeo. Pelegion. Mas vou encerrar o vídeo aqui, que é onde eu vou continuar. Quando for continuar a história, eu continuo desse ponto aqui. Ou do acampamento, tanto faz. Contando que dê para passar uma boa informação do detonado. Vamos salvar aqui, vamos terminar o vídeo aqui. Seja obrigado por assistir, fiquem com Deus e até o próximo vídeo.